my channel. Today's video is part 2 of my 3-part series using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. If you haven't seen my first impressions video using the Subculture palette, then I'll link it down below. So for this time around, I was able to use a few more shades in the palette, and I now have a better understanding of how it's working and my opinions on it. Before I move on, don't forget to subscribe and to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Alexi Artistry. So if you're interested in seeing how to create this double cut crease using the Subculture palette and my opinions on the palette, then just continue on watching. For this look, I kind of have in mind a double cut crease, and I kind of want to get some use out of more colors than I did last tutorial. For this look, I kind of want to do a double cut crease. I've never done one before, so this is kind of going to be a little bit of a learning process. Last video, I was able to try out Edge and All Star, and then I also tried Untamed, and I think I might have to use Edge again, but the rest of the shades should all be new. So I think I'm going to start off with the cut crease first, and then I'll go into the double cut crease after. I think I'm going to do a ombre effect using Roxy, New Wave, and Edge. Going in with my N526 brush, this is a really small blending brush. It's perfect if you have hooded eyes, so you can be a little bit more precise where you're placing the color, and then you won't have to clean up as much, so it won't go too far into your mobile lid. So the first shade is actually not going to be new. I'm just going to go in with Edge, and that's going to be the color that is closer to the inner part of my eye. And then as I go to the middle, I'll put New Wave, and then to wing out at the end, I'm going to do Roxy. But I actually think before I start, I'm going to put some tape down so that it cleans up that edge and it's very clean, and I don't have to worry about it getting messy. As I learned in my first video using this palette, that I really don't need a lot. One little tap into the palette's enough, and then definitely tap off the excess. So if you can see, this is where my crease is. I like to keep the shadow above that crease. Then that just kind of gives me a little bit of a map as to where to keep the shadow. The next shade I'm going to tap into is New Wave. And then the third shade I'm going to go into to finish off the wing is Roxy. To cut the crease, I'm going in with my Tarte Shape Tape and a Morphe M421 blending brush. So now that we have that cut, we're going to move on to the double cut crease, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this really small liner brush from MAC. This is the what number is this? 208. For colors, I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I started with Edge over here in the inner corner, and I'm going to start in the outer corner, and I'm going to create a wing, and then I'm going to blend the colors into each other. So I'm going to dip into Edge. Because I'm creating a line, I want a little bit more on my brush, but still tap off the excess. Then we're going to follow this line that we've created with the tape. And then we're going to connect it. I'm going to fill in that wing with the brush that I cut the crease with. It's the Morphe M421. I'm going to pack it on. Everything was going really well except for a little patch over here that is a lot lighter than the rest of the shadow. It's like a lot more yellow than mustard yellow. I don't know what's happening. It doesn't matter how much I pack over it or put more of the shade over here, it still is lighter. I don't know, that's really weird, but we'll move on and we'll see what happens with that later. Actually, I'm going to go in with the same brush is New Wave. I'm going to follow the same shape. I'll start down here, so that's a little easier. And then the last shade I'm going into is Roxy. So So that issue with edge kind of happened on this side, still worse on this side. If I put a little bit more on, then it kind of helps, but I have to make sure it's even, but it's kind of hard to make it even. So we're just gonna leave it. It is kind of annoying that it looks blotchy because it keeps getting lighter the more I put on, which is weird because you think it would get darker. So I'm just gonna hop off camera, finish off the rest of my face, and then I'm gonna come back and finish off the look. So while I was off camera, I just went ahead and put on some Scarlet lashes from Huda Beauty. And then for my lips, I put on NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Stockholm. So I tried to fix the whole situation over here where it's just patchy with the shade Edge. And it didn't matter what I did, it just keeps looking a lot lighter in this area. And I don't really know how to fix it. So I'm just gonna leave it. I mean, my lash does kind of cover that area, but that is a little bit annoying. So that is something to note, that I did have an issue with edge when I was packing down the color. It might have to do with the concealer, or it might have to do with maybe when I was setting down the concealer, maybe I missed that spot and I didn't put enough powder there compared to the rest of the lid. It could be those factors, so that is just something to keep in mind. I don't exactly know if it is the shadow itself, but that is an issue that I'm having with the shadow. So I'm just going to finish off my bottom lash line by going in with my NYX Wonder Pencil. So for the bottom lash line, I'm not sure if I want to continue with the whole pattern or if I just want to put down one base color. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in with Edge and place that down first. Then I'm going to go in with New Wave and place that just in the center. And then I'm going to go in with Roxy. So overall, I am really pleased with how this look turned out. I didn't really have any issues aside from Edge looking patchy when I was packing down the color. I'm going to have to try that again and see if it was because possibly I missed putting powder down in that area and put powder everywhere else, or if the color is just a little bit patchy when you try to pack it down. So I definitely will try that again. Otherwise, all the shadows I used today worked beautifully. They were all extremely pigmented. I have no issues with pigmentation, and I don't think that there was that much kickback. If you look at my palette, there's some kickback, but it is an eyeshadow. So there's gonna be some fallout, of course. It's not that messy. It's honestly not that messy at all. So overall, based off of my last video, I'd say that my impressions of the palette are the same and even a little bit better. I've now used more of the shadows and I am really enjoying it. So stay tuned for one more look. I will be doing the third look in this 3-part series. Before I leave, don't forget to subscribe down below, like and comment, and also don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Alexi Artistry. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about the Subculture palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills.